Alright, so we're looking at the second construction question, and we're asked to construct a triangle with sides PQ being 8 centimeters, PR 6 centimeters, and angle P 60 degrees. This is the 2014 question. Alright, construction. Now, what I've done here is to provide a little sketch of this information given. We're given this information, we have to construct the triangle. So I sketched it. I draw a triangle, or sketch a triangle, and I label the points P, Q, and R. And I label them according to the information given. So PQ is 8 centimeters. So from P to Q, I put 8 centimeters here. PR, so from P to R is 6 centimeters. And angle P should be 60, so I put 60 degrees here. That's my sketch. So I'm going to start drawing the triangle. Now, I'm supposed to use my ruler and my compass and pencil only. Of course, you can use eraser as well, but avoid that. Now, the line PR should be 6 centimeters. So what I'm going to do is to draw a line longer than 6 centimeters. Now, what I'm going to do after that is to measure off 6 centimeters. So I'm going to run the first stroke of the ruler, that's 0, and pull the compass up to 6 centimeters. I have a radius distance of 6 centimeters. That's a radius distance. So I'm going to put the point anywhere on the circle, on this straight line. I'm going to avoid going at the end. So I'm going to go here, and you see the reason why further on. So I'm going to go here. Doesn't matter, just move a little off of it and scribe an arc. Where the arc meets the line, I'm going to go at that point of intersection and scribe another arc, the opposite direction. And where those two arcs cut the straight line, we have the 2 points. So this will be my P, and this will be my Q, my R, sorry, based on the drawing, PR. You can double check that measurement, and it should be 6 centimeters, as you can see. Okay, so just construct the line segment PR being 6 centimeters. Next, looking at this drawing, I can't put a measurement from R to Q. In the last construction, we're given a measurement, so I open up my compass. If you have the measurement for the two sides here, it would have been easy to just simply open up your protractor to that compass to that measurement, scribe an arc to that measurement, scribe an arc over the meet, you have the point Q. But in this case, we're not given the measurement for QR, only PQ. So therefore, what we'd have to do in that case is to construct the angle given. And the angle given is at point P, which is 60 degrees. Now to construct an angle of 60 degrees at a point, you put the compass point on that point. Create a semicircle. So let's do that. So let's create a semicircle. Now the semicircle, it doesn't matter how big it is, but try not to have it too big. I'm going to leave the radius distance on the compass. So I create a semicircle. I'm not going to trouble the width of the compass. Leave that radius distance. Now where this arc cuts this straight line here, I'm going to go there. At the point of intersection, I scribe an arc. Remember not to trouble the compass. Alright? Where these two arcs meet, therefore, running a line through this point and to point P would have created 60 degrees. Ensure you have a little space there so you can actually run those. Okay. You can test the point to make sure the pencil point lands on the point. Test to make sure the pencil point lands on the point. So when you're drawing the line, you'll pass exactly through those 2 points. Okay, so good stuff. Now if you measure with your protractor, now this is not constructing the angle has been constructed already at 60 degrees. We can double check with our protractor. We're not constructing, we're not supposed to. We can double check. So with this compass, with this center of the protractor, I'm going to put it at the center point P. And this line that runs here, which runs to 0 degrees, this is following this blue semicircle. Here, this line from the center going here is 0, 10, 20, following the blue, 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. So I'm going to center the protractor on the center, and have this line, the 0 line, match this line. So I'm going to call this line 0, and I'm going to count up to where the angle meets this line. So what degrees it is. Let's do that. Okay, with center and center and this line matching this 0 line, if we go upwards, we see 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's make sure it's not too bad. Okay, yes, oh, that's perfect. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. It looks like about between 60 and 61, but that's fine. Okay, so we're going to leave that and put 60 degrees there. By 1 off, it's neither here nor there. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is to, now we have this 60 degrees, we know that Q is somewhere along this line. So where Q is going to be, well, it should be 8 centimeters from P, based on this drawing. So what I'm going to do is to open up my compass from the 0 line up to 8. And then from point P, I'm going to scribe an arc. And at the point of intersection, that's where Q is. So I'm going to join all the points. Now I have point P, point R, and point Q. I join to close the shape to get the polygon, which is in a triangle. Okay, so now I have my triangle. All my construction lines are showing still. I've done this portion, part A. Part B says a line segment RX is perpendicular to the line PQ. So here we have a line PQ. I want to draw a perpendicular line to it. But this perpendicular line should be, so if we have this line here, just make a little, so if a line like this, a perpendicular line, okay, you not see the video. If we have a line like this, a perpendicular line will run at 90 degrees, will look something like this. So this angle between the two lines will be 90 degrees. Okay? So therefore, this line that is slanted, a perpendicular line will look something like this. So we could have a perpendicular line here. Okay? It's still 90 degrees to this line PQ. Okay? 90 degrees. But the thing is, where would this line be running through PQ? Well, it actually should pass through the point R, because it says line segment RX is perpendicular to PQ. So from R going towards PQ, we'll have X on PQ. So it says your line segment RX is perpendicular to PQ and meets PQ at X. So RX, so running this perpendicular line, okay, through R, so we end up having the line R. So we end up having the line R, and X will be somewhere along this line, which is perpendicular to this line. So X should be somewhere along this line, but it says X actually meets PQ. Okay? So the line RX meets PQ at X. So we're going to pass through here, and X is going to be on this line PQ. Hopefully that was helpful. But the question is how we do that. We're going to take my compass, and you must center it on the point that you're running it through, which is point R, which is outside of PQ. You create a semicircle on PQ itself. So I'm going to kind of bring it in a little. Okay. What I'm going to try to do is to get this compass to pass through PQ. Alright? Not off of PQ, but actually cut PQs in two places. So here we have the arc cut in PQ in two places. So I'm going to have it cut in here, just where the point meet, and it cuts here as well. Okay, so that's my 2 points of intersection. I'm going to create a perpendicular line that runs between a perpendicular line to these 2 points. Right, this line that runs from this point to this point. Go over it again. I'm going to create a perpendicular line that bisects this line from this point to this point. Okay, so I'm talking about this line here, from point to point. Create a perpendicular line through it that runs to R. How do I do that? Well, I go both I go to both new points. Okay, if you want, you can label them P1 and P2. Okay, so I'm going to go to P1, and I'm going to describe an arc. Go at P2, describe another arc, and then where both arcs meet at the point, I'm going to run a line that passes through this point and through to R. Okay, and so this line that runs through to R, remember Rx, so X is actually on this line, but X actually meets PQ. Rx meets PQ at X. So it will meet PQ at X. That means these two lines meet at X, in other words. Think about it. So X is actually at this point. Alright, so I've done this. I've constructed the line segment Rx. Now measure the length Rx, that's the next part of the question. Measure and state the length of Rx. So measure and state the length of Rx, centimeters. And I get 5 centimeters, 5.1 centimeters exactly. So line Rx is equal to 5.1 centimeters. It could be plus or minus 0.1. Okay, so this is actually plus or minus 0.1 centimeters. That will be accurate. In other words, if you have 5 centimeters, it will be okay. If you have 5.1 or 5.2, it will be okay as well too. Alright. Now, what we want to do is to do the second part, which is angle. Find angle QRX. That's the B portion. Angle QRX. How do we do that? Well, let's find angle QRX. So we're going to go from Q to R up to X. So again, we're talking about the line QR meeting the line Rx. As the angle created between those two lines will be this angle here. Okay, so I need an angle from Q to R going up to X, that angle here. So I'll let either this be my zero line or this be my zero line. And I must use my protractor to measure angles. So what I'm going to do there, this is my zero line, remember? This is my center. So this is my zero line that runs through the center. So one of these lines of the angle will be my zero line. My center will be here because remember I'm measuring angle R. Okay, so I'm going to let this be my zero. I'm going to let this be my zero line. And center with center. So this center is at the center of R. And this line, dark line, is my zero line. On the blue part of the protractor, you have 0 here below this measurement. 0. And it's actually on this line, RQ. And so now I'm going to measure 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. And this line is actually at this line, RX, actually passes through the protractor at 45 degrees to line QR. It's actually between 40 and 50 degrees, so 45 degrees exactly. So angle QRX is 45 degrees. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. All the best in your exams.